Some of these guys had said they will join. I don't know who will join. Let us see.
Let's see. Not an issue.
Yeah, I think we can start.
Yeah, we will start. It's exactly 6 o'clock. So let's start.
So first of all, welcome Vivek to our live session. I'm right now also Zoom streaming it live in YouTube.
Oh, great.
The basic idea was to see in what way we can engage with our audience, and I think, in my opinion, the objective is to basically tackle and start talking about freshers. In that context, maybe I just ask you a question first. In terms of what do you think would be the challenges of freshers when they join new companies?
See, basically, whenever a fresher is joining a company, and assuming that the fresher is basically coming directly from the college, the biggest challenge what he has is the adaptation to the industrial environment. In a college environment, basically, he's that way a completely free bird. He is able to do the job and join the colleges, bunk some things, and complete the exercise, give the exams. So it's a very secured thing. While in an industry, whenever he joins, he is bound by certain activities, he's bound by the timings, he's given assignments, and uh, he needs to deliver on those assignments. There are no chat GPT or anything of that sort. And that is a big differentiator, which I feel is between a fresher joining the environment itself is different between a corporate world and a college world.
So more than that, see, if you look at the environment is different, that is true. But if you look at our experience when we go to any company, meeting freshers, if I look at our own clients, there on the other side, one side, we want the freshers to be really active in understanding what the problem is and learning, and so that they can come up to speed very quickly. But many a times, I think there is some kind of a resistance for the fresher to really dirty the hands and learn what needs to be done. I'm not really sure what the reason is. What could be the reasons for this, in your opinion?
So basically, as I said, the first reason is the change in environment. He is not really aware as to what needs to do. And I talk back from many experiences when I've seen in my corporate career also certain people coming as a sandwich trainees, and they don't know what really needs to be done. So what basically needs to be done during a fresher joining these corporates is they need to get an overview or an induction thing. And through that proper induction and a buddy system, that makes them more comfortable and get into the corporate world much further and adapting to the new world.
Okay.
Welcome, Ajit. Welcome, Rajgopal.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, before you just joined in, we were just discussing about what are the real challenges between the freshers joining the corporate world. So if you would like to add something, you are most free to do that.
Yeah, see, freshers, what happens intellectually, they are very good.
Correct.
But practically, when you ask them to do something, they come with, I got good marks, because we have never seen those marks which today's youth get. So when we get very good marks and when I go to work, then I find the work has got nothing to do with the marks which I've got. So there little disaccord comes. this is what has been seen, because uh, a job which is usually taken for a package, is this package matching with that package is a big problem.
True. One more challenge which I see is that in an industrial environment, the type of machines, the type of processes which are available, he has never seen it in his college life. And that brings in additional level of challenges which he really needs to overcome and surmount. Like Dinakar, I'm sure you will be able to go back to your olden days when you started with Bosch. You had an entire training department, which used to help you get accustomed to these tools or the machines, the processes. And then they used to get inducted after an intensive 1.5 months in the training department. That sort of thing is totally missing, where industry expects them to come on board right and start delivering from the day one, while they are not at all clear and think about what needs to be done. You would like to add anything, Mr. Rajgopal Naik?
So Nayak, hi Nayak, how are you? Welcome, and you can unmute if you want to, and then participate in this discussion. Nayak is right now in Bosch. He heads the machine tool division there.
Oh, great.
So Nayak, if you are interested, you could share your thoughts on what would be the challenges for the freshers in today's scenario, and how should they overcome that? That's the discussion that we are talking about now. Because if you see the amount of talent we have in this country is fantastic. The amount of information the freshers have is possibly exponentially higher than what we had when we entered the companies. At the same time, maybe they are too serious, is what I feel sometimes. That could be the reason why they get bogged down. I don't know. When I entered Bosch, it was basically fun. Though there was some kind of a what should I say, orientation program, but we would basically be as casual as we were in the colleges. I'm sure all of us more or less at the same age group, Ajit and Vivek. You also could have had similar experience. Nayak is much younger to us. So if you want to, and you can, Nayak, you can possibly share that thought. In the meantime, over to Ajit or Vivek to elaborate on that. We were really having fun, because finally it's that time when you really can make the best use, because the responsibility will not be that high. You're still a fresher, and that's a very nice time to be in, so that you can really get the best out of your time. And more importantly, for me, when I was in college, I didn't have any money. So after joining the work, there was some amount of money available. So that again was a big motivator to really see whatever you can do with that money. Of course, apart from giving whatever I gave to my mother, because that was very important. So I still had some money left over. Over to you, Ajit, and then Vivek. Yeah. And Nayak, if you want, you can unmute yourself, and then we can continue with you. Yeah. Ajit.
Basically, what I have seen is today, people more than work, they talk about package. It's a very sad thing. We used to go and I got a job in, let us say, Bosch. But today, nobody talks about the company or the work. I got this package. The package has become more important than the work. And then they are telling, oh, now I'm in Bosch. So next, where am I going to jump? That whole thing is less of work oriented, more of growth oriented. So whole approach is changing.
No, I think that is also to a great extent true, isn't it? I remember one of the production supervisors in one of our clients. So he was a really fairly young guy who joined there, or maybe he had already done a job in another company. Then he came from some other company and joined this company. And there, he always used to say, sir, if you can find out any good place, you tell me, sir. I'm putting a lot of effort, and then I'm doing so many things here, but there is no recognition. So I'm not sure what is the understanding of recognition of people of that age group. Because for us, possibly recognition would be maybe you wait for 4 to 5 years to get a promotion, right? Or to get sometimes wait for 1 or 2 years to get an increment also. I'm not sure whether that time frame has come down. That could be the reason why people are more impatient.
So what has happened is today, very unfortunately, in school and college, they have got somewhere down that everybody should be recognized. If you participate in something, you get one recognition certificate. So wherever they go now, they want to be recognized for what? For doing some job for which they are getting paid. That recognition has got no value. And very unfortunately, what is happening is meeting targets is as if I'm doing one big favor. Somewhere down, the classification is getting distorted.
One more change which I see happening in today's world is that whenever we joined a company, for us, the company was whole and soul. That was our prime breadwinner. That was our thing to grow a career path. In today's world, most of the kids are already thinking about having 2 or 3 different jobs. Or forget jobs, if not jobs, yes, there was a moonlighting which went on very recently, a big topic across. But apart from jobs, what they are really looking across is 2 or 3 sources of income. And since their 2 or 3 sources of income is another thing, their focus only on that job is limited.
No, that also could be because of the overall cost of living, isn't it? The cost of
Exactly.
living and the peer pressure, so multiple things could be happening. That possibly is more the case in the city area where
Very
we
true.
live. But if you go to a outside city, suburban limits, I don't know whether that kind of a craze to do multiple jobs would be there very high. I don't know.
Sir, Dinakar, may I add here? Is it cost of living or my wants have increased? It's not cost of living. If you see what we started with and you see petrol rate, you see the cost of your plate meals or whatever it is, it's not much. Cost of living has not gone up because the salary also has gone up. You just compare. Because I was sitting the other day and sitting with one boy, he has hardly joined, 3 months are not over. He's thinking of changing his job. What happened? No, cost of living is too much. Sit down. What are you getting? When you are getting what you are getting and the cost you segregate, cost of living has not gone up. The wants have gone up, not the needs.
But is it not that today they have aspirational values? Like today's youth wants to have a house, a car, something by
That's
age
what
of 30, 35. I
wants.
get your point. I get your point. But what is driving that particular wants is that what he's seeing is his working life getting reduced. Earlier, he knew that if he joins a company, he will retire at about 58 or 60. Today, that is not the case. Today, the industries are changing, the world is changing, they are changing the jobs, the multiple sources of income are coming. Somebody would like to be a YouTuber, an Instagrammer, or other things. And this, I see a change also with the entrepreneurs who have joined the companies. The next generation entrepreneurs of the companies I see, they are not willing to do same contract manufacturing job which their father had started with and grown to a substantial size. They would like to have a product out of the company. They would like to have different things. So that aspirational value is another thing why they want to achieve things much faster and quicker. And they would like to retire at 40 or 45. Some people really burn out. That could be one more aspect.
But maybe that is true. I don't know whether that is the key driver or not. So one of these days, I need to possibly invite some more kids to our show and then ask them as to what for them to share what is it is driving. Because one is we have got some wisdom, and our wisdom is mainly from our perspective and what we see.
Very true.
At the same time, I have got numerous examples of younger kids, younger generation performing exceptionally well in companies. When I say companies, I would talk about small and medium scale industries. That is the place where there is a dearth. If you look at a larger company, the life is more or less cushy. In the sense, it is not such a big challenge there. Whether it's a Bosch or a Infosys or a TCS, where there is a good amount of orientation program and a lot of training inputs. So it is not a big challenge. If you go to a smaller and medium companies, there the situation possibly has remained the same as what it was 30, 40 years back, where you have to enter and then start off from scratch. You didn't really have anything available there. and that's something which is very, very critical for a smaller company. And I'm not sure if you had such an experience, Ajit, when you started your career. I started in Bosch, so we had a fantastic orientation program, fantastic training for almost 2 years. So it really took us to various departments, various functions, various projects. Whereas those who joined the small scale industry, I remember many of my friends, it was not as comfortable as what my life was. So I'm sure if somebody would start in a smaller company, it would definitely be a different ballgame altogether.
Yeah, Dinkar, my this thing was I wanted to get into training because I knew that somewhere down I like interacting with people. So I worked 5 years in sales and marketing, and I had good companies, Park Davis, SKF, IDEX. So the companies were good, but my objective was different.
No, but did you have good orientation programs in each of these
Oh, yes,
companies
yes,
immediately
yes,
after
yes, yes.
immediately after graduation?
Absolutely.
Now,
Absolutely.
now looking at your own aspirational values, that okay, you knew that you wanted to be on your own or get into a training space. So what were your thoughts and what was driving you to achieve whatever you wanted to achieve within the company and plus your goals?
See, for
Just
me,
to reflect a few.
the money was never important. So what I used to do is, I used to finish my lunch within 10 minutes and go and sit in different departments. 1 week, let us say stores. Okay, every day I'll go to stores. Then next week I'll go to warehouse. My job was how to get exposure and understand every function.
So you are the Amir Khan of the company, like in Three Idiots.
So in the bargain, Dinkar, my aim and objective was how to understand all the departments.
Yeah.
I was never bothered. See, when I was Western India head for a marketing, I went for 10% salary in production because when I'm in sales and marketing, who will give me that same salary when I go to production?
Correct.
I want to know about production. So I went for 10% of that salary. And I know I'm not going to get incentives here. No travel allowance, nothing. But what was my aim and objective? I want exposure.
Yeah.
So is it what if we provide these younger youths with different exposures, different experiences, will they get attracted to the company and will they stay on?
What is their objective is very, very, see, finally, it's the purpose. Okay. Now, today's every youth wants to become a startup. Everyone is talking about startup. But they don't, the very fact, would you like to get exposure, in between your years? Would you like to go and get exposure and experience? No, he is like that, she is like that. The point is, why do so many startups fail? Because without experience, I straight away want to get into business without any experience. So that is becoming a big. So when I tell them, why don't you go for exposure? So that, no, I'm not getting paid for that expo. Why you should get paid, man? You're getting experience. That is not the payment for them. So a lot of mix-ups.
See, I think what you said is very true, Ajit. The objective or the purpose. If I look at what purpose I had when I joined Myco, the only purpose I had was to work. That's all. I didn't have anything else, and to sustain my family, I had to work, and that was something which was the main driver for me. Once I went into the company, I was really amazed with the amount of mechanical engineering and machines and so many things happening there, which was kind of a university for me to learn. So I kept on experimenting, trying out, and then that's how I continued in Bosch for a long time, 26 years. But in today's life, I don't know, especially in the urban area, I don't think the sustaining of the family is the core motive for anybody to start working. It could be that they want to start a company or they want to become a CEO of that company.
Let me tell you, even I had a sustaining problem. But I was not scared. The reason is I had seen such poverty. I started in 78 with 450 rupees. And I could not, because I joined as a medical apprentice, my father said, you cannot stay in this house. The house is small. Your samples and all, where will you keep? So I went to Baroda. And 100 rupees I had to send every month. You know, those days 100 rupees
Correct.
a lot of value. So, but I had to send 100 rupees home. Out of which 150 was my house rent. 150, who can think of a house today?
Correct. No, but what you said is true. See, even though that sustaining drive was there, maybe we would have had, we would never had the opportunity to think of starting a company or becoming the CEO immediately, because
No.
the immediate need was to make sure that you are learning,
Yes.
you are active, and you are able to support the family. So many obligations were there. Maybe today that is not there. You know, that could be the reason why people would. I'm talking about those ones who go into the smaller unorganized sector. Because if you go to the organized sector, then they're more or less pampered. Okay, I'll tell you why. See, I would have possibly got a gift in my 26 years, maybe once or twice in Bosch. Now I have a client who does corporate gifting, a company called as Offineats. They are really damn good. So they have constantly orders from various companies for something or the other. It could be a birthday gift, or it could be the month-end performance gift, or it could be just like that a gift, or it could be a welcome gift, or this gift, that gift. Continuously you're getting pampered, you know, in a large organized sector, because they feel that, and after that you got this new assessment called as Great Places to Work. So you get that also. So that is again another, so you basically make sure that the employee is finding it most convenient to work in that particular space. But if you look at such companies, I don't know whether they are the larger chunk in India in terms of volume, the volume of opportunities available. They may not be the bigger one. The bigger ones would be the smaller companies, which could be smaller or medium companies, where it is not that organized and they hardly give any gift. That is a situation like it used to be for us when we started working.
That's what. See, Dinakar, during our time, empty stomach, fire in the belly, we had a different approach altogether.
Okay, so we have now understood and described the situation the way we perceive. Now, starting with you, Ajit, as the alphabetical order, what do you think would be the most important, what should I say, advice, or most important wisdom that we can give to this generation, to say that, look, you can still be a great, you can flourish well, you can do outstandingly well, you can become the next Narayan Murthy, or you can become the next Ratan Tata, or you can become the next Bill Gates. But there is a path to take. And what could that suggestion be? Nayak, are you there? You can unmute yourself if you want.
I think yes, connectivity issues.
I don't know, maybe. Let us see. Yeah, go on, Nayak. Go on, Ajit. What would your suggestion be for the fresher who would want to be the next Ratan Tata, or wants to be the next
what I tell
Kumar Mangalam Birla?
I tell people is, please do not go anywhere just for money. You will not last long. Unless, number one, do I love what I'm doing, and how to love what I'm doing? My intrinsic qualities of intelligence should be matching with what I'm doing. Otherwise, you will never last. Today's world is such that if I do not love what I do, so how do I love what I do? If A.R. Rahman, he didn't do any studies, how did he get the Oscar award? Because his intelligence was matching with what he was doing. So if you want to be lasting in your job for a long time, never go for something which is only giving you money, because you will wait for the weekend. You'll get into all sorts of addictions, because your chemistry in your body will not be stable. Disease is nothing but dis at ease. Number one is, do you love what you do? That is passion. But we have managers, work with passion, work with passion. You can never work with passion. Passion should come from inside.
From within.
That is number one. Number two is, what is your purpose of working? Is it money? Or go to the higher level? I want to serve. Still go to the higher level. I want to bring up the company. Still go to a higher level. I want to make my state the number one producing company. No, still go higher. I want to make India the number one. The higher you go, higher purpose, then you will be having a fire in your belly. Nobody can stop you. But salary is my purpose, then you will only keep jumping jobs. Okay. Third, are you having preparedness? What is this preparedness? Am I all the time upgrading myself? Then you are a commando. You need not worry about what is your age. I am 69. Why people come to me? Because every year I have to make a list of what are the tools I need to improve upon, what are the habits I need to develop, what are the skills I need to work upon. If I'm not working on myself, hey, look here, man, no product will last. I'm a product. Am I working on myself? So preparedness. What are the advantage of these three things? If you have a very compelling purpose, your commitment will be such that company will tell don't go away. Number two, passion, consistency will be there. You will be assuring that I am going to be cost effective to the company. Preparedness, you will have conviction. So these are the three P's I talk about.
Oh, very good. Superb. Vivek, what are your thoughts on that?
Basically, what we are thinking is all about, I would not like to call myself an oldie, but still I would like to say an oldie talking to an entrepreneur with our visions and our thoughts. But if you look from their point, what is that they really want? Why did they want to join the entrepreneur or startup? When I spoke to one guy for a startup, he said, startup is an area where I can get multiple experiences in multiple departments and I get challenges. I can appear those challenges. So, is the company providing them enough challenges in different areas for them to be really good? And is that individual looking at it at different areas? Today's youth has a limited attention span, whether we like it or not. If we are saying that, yes, he has to be best in only one area, I'm still not convinced fully that will he be able to have that sort of things to continue with the same particular subject I'm talking about. Yes, he has much higher aspirational values of earning money, doing things, and as rightly pointed out by Ajit, that he wants to serve the world or something like that he wants to do where he gets noticed. So what is that one thing which he'll do that, and which by means of which he can get noticed is another thing which the company needs to look at it. Are they giving them really new challenges, new different areas, and a recognition? As Dinakar was mentioning, everybody wants recognition, even for the smallest things. Recognition or visibility within the company. If we start doing that, I am sure they will be able to gel with people much better. In fact, Dinakar has written a very beautiful blog about how the things have changed from time to time between the juniors and the seniors. And possibly some insights from that blog, Dinakar, I am sure people will be able to get good insights.
Yeah, so from my perspective, the first and the foremost thing, I agree with Ajit, passion to really do what you like is something which is the core. If many a times we are not in a position to do that because of various circumstances. And I always used to say when I was a fresher, my secret of happiness and my secret of motivation is to, there are two possibilities. Either you do what you like or you convince yourself that what you are doing is what you wanted to do. Because many a times it is not possible for you to shift jobs. There could be multiple constraints. So therefore, whatever you're doing is what you wanted to do is what I would get convinced, and then use the remaining time, the free time, to really pursue my passion. Passion is the one which is most important, and that connect between passion and what I am doing, if that gets connected, then it really is magical. And the next is in terms of purpose. Again, I totally agree with you, Ajit. Higher the purpose, higher is the motivation, because then you look at something much larger. And there, I would also ask another thing, which is very, very important. You spoke about the purpose, then passion, and the third one was preparedness. I would imagine preparedness in the today's generation is already there, because they have got so much amount of uh, knowledge and so much amount of information which they have been bombarded with, and also the access to information and knowledge today, which is in abundance. So I would replace the third P of yours with another P of mine, which is perseverance, because many a times we don't succeed in the first go. We go and hit and we don't succeed. So never to give up, never give up attitude is something which is extremely important to be able to succeed in whatever you are doing, whether you want to be a fantastic worker in a factory, or you want to be recognized as a great team lead, or a manager, or a director, or a general manager, vice president, whatever it is. Persistence is the next most important thing which is necessary, in my opinion. So I would put it as passion, then purpose, and perseverance. And before I again request both of you to comment, I want to share a story which I used to tell everybody when I was in Brazil. I had a job of implementing SPC. SPC is Statistical Process Control, where one is trying to look at the variations happening in the process, and based on those variations, trying to understand if the variations were normal or abnormal. When the variations were abnormal, then you know that something is wrong with the process. So you stop the machine and then find out what is wrong, correct it, so that the quality and the product which is being manufactured has stability in terms of the outcome. It's called as SPC, Statistical Process Control, a very old methodology. Now it's more or less kind of a standard thing in many companies. I was to introduce that in 1992 or 93 in Curitiba plant, and my job was to introduce it the third time, because my earlier two predecessors had tried it and they had failed. And I'm a foreigner. I don't speak. I'm not a Portuguese or a Brazilian. So my two earlier guys were both Brazilians. So I was the foreigner, a foreign national going to Brazil to introduce SPC. Was a different ball game altogether. And I had not, the only thing I had done was I'd done some preparation for introducing SPC in Bangalore, and had learnt about SPC in college. So at that time, when I looked around, I understood that the problem is not with the SPC at all. SPC is a basic thing. You just need to take a calculator and calculate the X bar and R, X bar and S, which is available in any scientific calculator, and you can write it in the sheet. That is not a big problem. The problem was with the mindset. Okay, people are not ready to come out of their comfort zone. So I started one concept called as the watermelon concept, where I said that, look, when you take a watermelon, in Brazil, watermelons are very popular. When you buy the watermelon, then you always take a piece of the watermelon, taste it, then only buy the watermelon. Is it correct? So everybody said, yes, it is correct. So similarly, if the watermelon, when you tasted it, is not good, that watermelon you're not going to buy. Neither will the shop holder sell it to you. Whereas in factory, the same thing happens. You're taking a sample and checking it, and then deciding on the entire lot. That's the sampling concept of sampling. So all this used to happen, and I used to share this watermelon concept, and that was quite easy for them to understand. But still there was some resistance. So therefore we decided to do some kind of a training. Okay. And this training, we used a story. Possibly it's more common with Christian missionaries. I'll tell you that story. And after that, we will debate on that, for the one entire day, only one story. Story is a very simple story. Habib, long time ago, there was a tribe which lived in the caves. They were all cavemen. I'm talking about possibly 15, 20,000 years earlier, when the life expectancy of the human species or the Homo sapiens were only about 20, 25 years, not more than that. And then they always lived in the cave, and then they continued living in the cave. One day, three of them wanted to just find out what is there at the end of the cave. So they started walking. And as they started walking, they found a lot of thorns and a lot of crazy animals, snakes, whatever that was there. They could not see. They were getting injured. But still they continued walking, walked on and on and on for quite some time, till they came to the end of the cave. Moment they came to the end of the cave, it was as if they had reached heaven, because they could see light. They could see. Earlier, they were not seeing at all. It was total blindness. So here at the entrance of the cave, they came, and then they could see the light. They could see butterflies. They could see flowers. They could see trees. They could see river, mountains, and so many things that they really didn't know what to say. It is such a joy for them. And because of such a joy, They said that, look, see, this is so marvelous. Let us go and tell our other cavemen, they can also come and see. So they didn't even wait to experience that joy. All three of them immediately started rushing back. And that took them another couple of days going through those stones and difficulties, water and whatnot. Somewhere they had to pass through hot volcano, hot rivers. They really reached their tribe and they started explaining to them with so much amount of enthusiasm what they had seen. They could not really explain what they had seen, but it was something magical. So as they started explaining this, then the tribe initially were very excited. They listened to them for some time. And after that, they said, now we need to really find out what has happened to these three fellows. Then they called for a panchayat meeting, and in the meeting, the elders decided that maybe some very, very poisonous insect must have bit them. So they have turned mad. And because they decided that they turned mad, that's what the conclusion was. And in those days, when people were to be decided as mad, they were to be hung to death. So as a consequence, all the three people were hanged to death. In doing so, it was one side quite tragic that they got killed. But on the other hand, it was not that bad too, because the life expectancy anyway was very, very less those days. Okay. Now I tell this story, and after that I would ask them, would you like to be those three people or the rest in the cave? What would you like to be? That was just the activity which I did with about 3,500 people in that factory. Okay. We became one of the best SPC plants in the posh world. Customers said that we were the only plant in the world which understood what SPC was. Because everybody came out of their comfort zone. Just that story. Vivek and then Ajit this time. Vivek, what's your feeling as you heard this story?
See, the basic thing which comes out is that do we experiment? And once we experiment, do we believe those people what they are? Or are we continuing to be in our own comfort zone? Unless until today you are willing to experiment and start looking at new things in a different way, things are not going to change. That is what was my learning.
Sure.
And there is no harm in going out and seeing what the other people are doing. In fact,
Sure.
Today morning when I had a meeting in our book club, we have a book club where every month we meet and discuss and debate on 2 books, 30 minutes each. 2 people talk about it. And during that particular topic, my wife presented a book, and in that book there was a topic about education. And after the thing, there was a lot of discussions. And after the discussions, what came out is the same thing, that are we willing to experiment? Today we are willing to criticize, oh, NEP is bad, or this is not good, this is change. But why are we so afraid of changing? Why are we so afraid of experimenting and looking at it? Is what got concluded towards the end. So your story, what inspires me? Go ahead, move, see new things, try it out. And believe those people, other people, that yes, there is a magic outside.
And what you said is very true, Vivek, because if you look at it, today's generation, in my opinion, has a better platform for experimentation than what we did.
True.
Because of the dependency on their parents and so many things. In our case, the parents would be depending on us. So we had to really work to really make sure that the ends meet. Whereas that possibility is not that critical in today's generation. So they have got more opportunity and more, what should I say, scope for experimentation. Yeah, Ajit, over to you. What was your take on that story?
Yeah, see, thinking about this thing and mixing it with what Vivek said, I am realizing that what is not in my intellect, I'm not able to imagine. Imagination. What these people are talking about, waterfall, trees and all, is not in my intellect. So those images will never come into my mind.
Correct.
And therefore, what Vivek told about education, today, by reading a book, I'm not getting educated.
Exactly.
I'm only getting more and more intellectually, I'm going up. But practically, there is a big question mark because most are fear-oriented. Now, coming to the point what you said, perseverance. I have seen a person with a purpose and a passion is ready to give life. This I learned from the commandos. That just simply create purpose and passion. And there are people ready to give their lives for the country.
Yeah.
So perseverance is a result of these two.
Yeah.
Are you getting the picture?
Yeah.
True.
So people today I find saying you should read 100 books, do this. They are only going up intellectually. But practically doing, you require risk-taking grit, which is not instilled in our youth. And so, before me starting buoyancy, I was in a very cushy job. First chief pharmacist of the first high-tech hospital in India. Okay. And because of my risk-taking ability, I used to argue with the doctors because I was not bothered about you removing me. Those days, I think, you know, why people today are scared of positions? Because what if I lose my job? That was never in my mind. So I was a risk taker. And my two daughters and my wife, before I started buoyancy, I told them, tomorrow if buoyancy fails, what? And my wife said, you don't have to worry about it. I do not mind selling my gold. We sat and calculated what is the value of gold. Because I was so, khali hata aaye, hum khali hata jayenge. We can never lose in life. We are always winning. Okay. So that is what my risk-taking ability, and both my daughters had told the same thing, that you have to learn to take risks in life, because what water is to a seed, risk is to a human being. If you don't take risk, you are nowhere.
You won't be living a full life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I realized one thing somewhere down when people tell me that, Ajit, you know, you have to read books. I always tell them I read life, which is beyond books.
So
I remember you saying that to me the first time.
Yeah.
On a
That, yes, you
philosophical
read life.
note, possibly the reason why we are always supposed to be reborn in this earth is because we have not taken enough risk in our life to have lived the full life. So once you live the full life, then maybe God will ensure that you don't need to be born again, because you have experienced various aspects of life, and now you can retire and contribute to a betterment of the universe.
I've gone to sleep without dinner. So I've seen those lives. So I have no fear tomorrow. Tomorrow's fear is not there for me.
Great.
So anyway, so thanks a lot. Thank you so much. And any final last words to the fresher community? Tomorrow we'll talk about those community. Next week we'll talk about those community who are already maybe 2 to 3 years in their organization and are eager to become a team leader or have just now become a team leader. What could their challenges be, and how do we address those challenges? Ajit, last, any final words?
See, what I want to tell is, for me to be born, millions of sperms are released and I'm the only one born. So there are more failures. But all the time my focus is on failure today. Millions of seeds are given by the tree. Only 100 trees are produced. But unfortunately, I'm not realizing, including the farmer who puts 100 seeds, only 10 give. But the 10 give thousands.
Correct.
Can you learn to take calculated and intelligent risk? These two words. Calculated and intelligent risk. There is an intelligence in me which is giving me power. But I am more anchored to intellect. Intellect has limitations. Intelligence has no limitations. But I am after intellect.
So anyway, so before I give it to Vivek,
what you said, Ajit, is that yes, what you said is very true. So take risk, don't be afraid of failures, and identify your area of passion to succeed. That's it.
Absolutely.
And you will succeed.
So before I give it to Vivek for his final words, Ajit Kaikini is known to me. He is the founder of Buoyancy, which has transformed thousands of kids and thousands of people. And he is an expert in transforming people to be what they are. I want to just quote one, what should I say, anecdote or whatever. Another colleague of ours, Archana, keeps talking about. that today, see, all of us are like flowers, let us say. If we were all flowers, each one of us is born as a jasmine or maybe as a hibiscus or a rose or whatever. Our education system wants to make all of us become jasmine. So there are a lot of processes and systems, assembly lines in education system, colleges, which is trying to make all the flowers become a rose or a jasmine, depending on the course that you choose. So it's important that each one of us bloom as the way we are, instead of trying to become that particular flower. So like what you said, the transformation and the excellence in people can only come if they believe in what they do, and they find the purpose, and that purpose, and then the passion. And that's what that is really the key to triggering, what should I say, transformation in people. And for that, Ajit Kaikin is very popular, very, very consistent and effective. If you want to contact him, you may please, what is your email, Ajit? Maybe we can just tell that.
Askbuoyancy@gmail.com.
Askbuoyancy@gmail.com.
Buoyancy spelled as BUOYANCEE.
I will write that email in the description also later. And so thanks a lot, Ajit. And before we close, Vivek, over to you. Any final comments from your side?
Excellent. Keep on inventing, keep on finding out, go after new heights, and you will succeed. That's all.
Okay,
and
thanks a lot.
We provide the platform for doing that. That's all I say.
So thanks a lot. Vivek is my colleague, and he is an arid leader, and then wants to really kindle the power of thinking in people, to really get people to start thinking. That is something which is what that drives Vivek. He can be reached at Vivek at samutana.com. And my name is Dinakar. I am also, what should I say, a risk taker. I left Bosch at the age of 49, didn't go to any other job company. And I've been in the last 10 years trying to help companies and individuals do better and perform better. For that, developed a methodology called as doHow, which is mainly to get people to think and get people to practice. I think both Vivek and Ajit spoke about practicing. My work style is mainly to get people to practice, and then when they experiment and fail, I'm there as the what should I say, to have their back, that nothing really bad happens. So experimentation and practice is very, very important. That's the main focus in what I do. So if any of you interested, you can all get in touch with us. Otherwise, we'll again get back to talking about something on the career issues for people who have just now become a team leader or want to become a team leader from our perspective. In the meantime, I'll try to also talk to some of these young kids to find out what their challenges are, so that we can start addressing them one after the other. Thank you so much, and have a nice evening.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.